African smallholders are confronted with a variety of challenges. They face numerous challenges in agriculture, and there is often the need for them to invest significant amounts of time and money to support daily household activities. There have been many efforts devoted to support smallholders. This has resulted in a number of aid organizations focusing on areas such as low agricultural productivity, underdeveloped infrastructure, poor access to energy, clean water and sanitation, as well as ill health. Despite the many accomplishments, there are still many challenges to overcome to achieve real and lasting change. But are there alternatives to aid? Can market-oriented approaches be a pathway to improve rural livelihoods? Is it possible for the poorest of the poor to buy their way out of poverty? This film presents a market-oriented initiative to promote sustainable development through the introduction of simple technologies in targeted villages in Nyanza province in western Kenya. More specifically, the film focuses on the early successes of the diffusion of cook stoves and rainwater harvesting and storage systems, and the main challenges with sustaining the initiative. Nyanza province is a densely populated region, and family sizes are usually large. Incomes are based on agriculture, where sorghum and maize are the main crops grown. As land plots are usually smaller than 1 acre, incomes are often supplemented by activities such as growing fruits and vegetables, rope making, and basket weaving. In addition to the economic challenges faced by them, poor infrastructure in rural areas also hampers possibilities for improving their livelihoods. Access to electricity is not an option, and roads in villages are often impassable by car, making the movement of goods and people time-consuming and expensive. Despite the variety of challenges faced by people in the region, there are a number of established and functioning institutions. Local market systems exist for the buying and selling of goods and services, and most villages have some sort of formalized group structure. Can such functioning structures be used to facilitate change? Researchers at Luxus, along with a local entrepreneur, set out to explore if local institutions can be used as a pathway for change. The initiative began with researchers providing modest amounts of startup capital and also offered support for business startup activities, including business and marketing strategies. They then followed the different developmental stages in order to better understand both the possibilities and challenges of the initiative. The business, Decades Enterprises, is managed by Benson Otieno Gudu, the local entrepreneur. He addresses existing challenges of daily life by selling technologies that promote social, economic, and environmental sustainability, with a focus on cooking and access to clean water.
The whole business idea, the whole business plan is to use the seed money to buy the stoves, sell it to the communities who need them, and then I later on get the payment back, the payback, then reinvest the same money to buy more stoves so that I can sell to other communities also.
Benson also acts as a bridge between consumers and local craftspeople in the design and production of products that meet the demands of everyday use.
I work with the producers and the customers on any smaller improvements that can be made on stoves and the water systems. My role is to supply a system that works from the moment it is installed.
Benson targets rural households for whom the ability to pay cash for many technologies is difficult. By offering payment plans to purchasers, the costs of the technologies can be spread over time. The technologies are designed to save money and time on daily household activities. The money saved can then be applied to the monthly payments. But what are the burdens faced by the rural population, and what technologies can be introduced that can diminish these problems? Almost all cooking is done indoors over an open fire between 3 stones. This technique is inefficient, consuming large quantities of fuel wood. The technique also produces large amounts of indoor smoke. The smoke, a serious health problem, causes respiratory diseases affecting women and children most. Decades Enterprises' smoke-free stove is developed in collaboration with buyers and local producers. The stove consists of 3 parts: a tin chimney leading smoke outside the kitchen, a specially shaped clay stove, and a steel plate to accommodate different pan sizes. Surveys show that the stove uses less than half the wood of the 3-stone technique, saving either money spent on fuel wood or wood collection time. All parts are produced by local craftspeople, creating additional business opportunities for them. A complete stove costs roughly $14 US, corresponding to the actual fuel wood savings by using the stove over a 4-month period.
The goodness of this stove is that it saves fuel, and then I get a smoke-free kitchen. I used to use the 3 stones. I used firewood for 100, but since I got the stove, the smokeless stove, I'm using 50 bob for 2 days.
Despite that Nyanza province is one of the rainiest regions in Kenya, access to clean water is one of the largest challenges. Rural households in the region expend large amounts of time or money to obtain water. It can take up to several hours to collect a container. Regardless if it is collected or purchased, the water is often of very poor quality. The rooftop water harvesting and storage system makes use of a tin roof used on most dwellings. It consists of a black plastic tank with a tap at the bottom, gutters, and a pipe to connect the gutters to the tank. Depending on the amount of water used, 1 or several tanks can provide access to sufficient quantities of clean water right outside the door. The price of a 1,000-liter system is roughly $175 US, corresponding to the amount to buy potable water for an average family for 6 months. In addition, if there is excess water, it can be used for agricultural production, helping to generate additional income for families.
Okay, the system, water tank we install here, is used for cooking and drinking, and maybe washing the clothes. Okay, the benefits of the system is that my wife and the children, they don't go and fetch water in the river, and the time they were using in fetching the water, now the wife is using in making the baskets, which is economical part of our home. Yes. The quality of the water is clean water, and my children nowadays, they are not infected with the waterborne diseases. And the money I was using in buying the medicine there before, now I'm doing other things in the home, and I thank for the water system.
Since 2009, Benson has sold several hundred smoke-free stoves. Because of the immediate benefits the stoves offer, it has not been a problem to sell them. They are appreciated for their durability, time, and money savings. More recently, Benson has started selling rooftop water harvesting systems, where several units have been installed. Even if they have a much greater price, interest in these systems is also large because of the multiple and significant benefits they bring. Despite the many successes, the initiative has not been without its problems.
The business faces many challenges, and one of the biggest problems that I have is receiving back the money for the innovations.
Aid organizations have been very active in Nyanza province. It has therefore been difficult for users to realize that this is not an additional aid project.
It is important for people to understand that this is not an aid project, and the money that they borrow must be paid back.
Building and maintaining trust between Benson and the buyers is essential. If the technologies are not paid back, Benson runs the risk of running out of capital to finance additional systems. The buyers must also be assured that they are receiving a quality product and that Benson will not disappear with their down payment. As the finance plans can last for several months, a challenge for Benson is to maintain contact with the buyers through the entire finance period. An important part of Benson's work is to develop and test strategies to establish and build trust between him and buyers. This work includes frequent contact with villages to sell, install, and check on customer satisfaction with past technology sales.
Building trust is very important, and one way that I do this is by selling for them the stoves first. Then I can sell for them the water system, which is more expensive. I will have confidence that they will pay back for the water systems. And likewise, they will also have confidence in me that I will not disappear with their money.
Benson, together with the research team, have worked to improve the business model. This has included tackling issues of trust and improving technology repayment options. For purchasers to understand that this is not aid, Benson has now introduced written contracts for all buyers. The contract is signed by Benson, the purchaser, as well as a witness from the village.
A written contract would act as a reminder of the agreement that we have. So hopefully they would not default on the payment. I'm now introducing someone from the village to witness the contract signing so that the agreement is known by someone from the village.
To also ensure repayment of the amount borrowed, a modest fee for late installments has been implemented.
Adding a modest penalty fee for late payment would also compel them to pay in time.
Since it is difficult for Benson to visit buyers regularly, he has needed to develop alternative strategies to collect and remind buyers about payments.
Transport cost is very high in Kenya, and it is not economical for me to drive out each month to collect money. Since many people have got mobile telephone, one payment option is to use the mobile money transfer system. There is a charge for the service, but it is small as compared to the transport cost. It is also easy for me to keep the records of the payments in my phone.
The use of the system has been very successful, and many buyers are now using the telephone for payments. Benson also uses the phone to send text messages to remind users about late installments. The initiation of the written contract, the village witness, and the late fees have improved repayment rates significantly. It has also created an atmosphere of shared duty within the village. Despite all of the measures, there is still no guarantee of repayment. For the initiative to be successful, effective and broad-reaching technology diffusion is essential. How and who Benson targets villages in the province is important. Using village groups that have been formed for other purposes is one easy way to reach buyers.
The village groups are mainly formed to attract specific aid projects. I can use these groups to get many potential buyers at one particular time. So what is best for me is to use the groups to attract many potential customers. But the agreement must be between me and individuals and not between me and the groups. This is because the groups might dissolve as soon as the aid projects are finished, and the agreement that we had might not be valid anymore.
Although we still don't know if people in the Anza province can buy their way to healthier, more prosperous, and sustainable lives, the results of the early phases of this initiative have shown the potentials with market-based approaches. A main message from the initiative has also revealed that for a market system to be effective, it is essential that there are immediate improvements for users in the form of the savings of time or money, where, for example, this savings can be used for other income-generating activities. Despite that there have been numerous successes with the initiative, additional challenges will continue to arise. There are still many uncertainties in how to up and outscale the initiative. Future research will serve to reduce uncertainties by testing the approach with new technologies, as well as assessing the initiative in other social settings throughout Africa. The diffusion of simple technologies is just one approach. Many different types of initiatives are needed if poverty alleviation and sustainable development efforts are to be widespread and lasting.